going live? You're live. All right. Islam, 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 Ism. We are here. We are here. We are here for 30 minutes, more or less. I am Sister Tahida S. Najiola L of CalifaMedia.com, mrcicharities.org and com, riseofthemoors.org and com, trademark, and certifiedmoorish.org and com. Happy holy day to all Moors and Muslims. We are here again for our Friday roundup where I talk about news that I think Moors can use, let you know what I got going on in my world of, all things Moorish, et cetera, and so on and so forth, right? It's been a week. That's why I'm late. It's been a week. How they say it, it's been on one, right? But thank you all for being here and those who will be here later. I appreciate y'all. What should I say? I'm about to introduce something new because I found out it actually works. If you actually tell people or remind people to do things. So please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment because I actually do like to hear what y'all have to say, right? I've had a great day. All right, ripping and running, helping my son move into his apartment for college, blah, blah, blah. And his house is doubling as my office. So I get to write off all his furniture to help him start his life, right? Oh, it's pretty fun. And then while I was there, quick aside, I'm sitting there assembling his shoe rack and somebody just opens his door. He managed. This is why astrology matters, right? I'm like, I'm going to let this boy, he's a Sagittarius with a Cancer rising, and his moon is in Leo. Whole bunch of fire. Thank goodness for that water. And I'm like, I'm going to let this boy, he's 18, but he's very responsible. He's my 18-year-old. So I'm going to let him find his own apartment. He'll let me know if he needs some help. I know he won't ask because his moon is conjunct Saturn. He can take care of himself, right? He likes deprivation. He don't want no help. It's fine. I had the same thing. That's why I know what he's going through. We both have moon conjunct Saturn in Leo. Okay, it's really cool. So anyway, I'm sitting there assembling his stuff. Oh, his house, his studio. Come to find out, he found some studio. I'm like, let me do the research. What? It says he gonna be behind working or living. His first place that he's gonna live was somewhere that people worked. What does that mean? Go to this boy house because I didn't know where he was moving until he moved there, signed the lease and everything, and then I got to see where he was moving. Right? It's a nice little studio. Like, wow, these ceilings are vaulted. This looks like a meeting room or something. This is weird. I'm nosy. Let me go around the back to see if I see there's some more going in the back. What's going on? And it just keeps going back. Oh, wow. There's another door, but it's like got glass. It's tempered glass covering. Like, they don't want you going up in there. Okay. But it's a whole thing back here, a whole nother structure. Is this an apartment? Oh, they said this is an abandoned building back here, but they refurbished the front. Okay. I'm nosy. What's this piece of paper in the window? A demolition notice from 8 years or 7 years ago. What is this? I'm peeking in the window. There's a fabrication factory behind his studio, right? So it's like somebody was making something behind his house and then bringing it to where he's living, his studio, and that's where they were selling it. And his chart sure said, you're going to live somewhere that was probably like a workshop where somebody lived upstairs and worked downstairs. Well, they lived in the back. They got that part right. I'm like, what? So pretty cool. It's I don't know. It's really cool how astrology works. So I'm up in there and we waiting on the delivery and the door just opens. Like, okay, I forgot to lock the door. Somebody just walks right in. And thank goodness I'm sitting there with like a sharp instrument in my hand. Like a sharp instrument in one hand because I'm assembling something and wood in another. Like, okay, I'm good. What's up? And I'm crouching down. So I got the advantage. You don't know what you're walking into. Luckily, it was a young brother. I'm like, oh my goodness. And I'm just looking at him and he's just looking at me. Like, you just walked up in here. You got to explain yourself. And he's like, oh, my fault. I thought this was an apartment building. My bad. I'm going to bring in your stuff. All right, cool. And he's like confirming. I'm getting to a point. I have a point for telling you all this. He's confirming, okay, I dropped off all your stuff, making sure of the business. It says Moorish. I'm like, yeah, why? Like, okay, Moorish. Yeah, that's me. What's going on? He's like, Moorish. I'm like, can you not read it? It's Moorish Religious and Cultural Institute Incorporated. That's who you just delivered this to, our home office. All right. I can't help that somebody, it's a home office. The prophet gave us everything. So this is not fraud. My son is actually on our board. I have a company called the Moorish Religious and Cultural Institute Incorporated, right? It's a 508. He's what is he? A registered agent, because I might be getting ready to move out of Indiana. So he's our registered agent, so I don't have to move everything because he's here for the next 4 years, right? And I'm like, fine, your building did my research. In 1904, it was a church business, religious, right? It was a church. And then it got converted in the 1940s. It was taken over by the UAW, United Auto Workers. And I guess they were building custom car parts in the back of your house, right? It's a whole factory, like with a loading dock. I'm like, what? It's like it goes down and then it's all vaulted. It's crazy. I'm like, I'm trying to be good, but I'm like this close to just being like, you know what? That says abandoned. I might do what is that? When you could just adverse possession. It's been abandoned for 7 years, right? Nobody wants it. I'll just adversely possess it in so many ways and then do an eminent domain on your part. It's like, oh, because it's just interesting. But anyway, the brother was reading saying Moorish. I'm like, yeah, Moorish Religious and Cultural Institute, Inc. Like, yeah, that's what it says. And then I'm like, why is he getting so happy? Like, what you know about the Moors, son? Because he's young. He's like in his 20s. Like, oh, my older brother always talking about that stuff. I'm black. You ain't black. I know I ain't black. I'm a Moor too. The way he just surrendered, because I'm still on the floor. I'm on the floor assembling something because my son refuses to have like chairs and stuff that's like off the floor. He wants to be on the floor like Japanese style, right? So I'm just on the floor, just looking up, talking to him. And he's like, yeah, my brother's always talking about this and talking about that. And he always on me. So you know about the Moors, huh? What's your brother's name? I don't know. He's like, oh, yeah, he's here. He's older, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, and I gave him my contact information. I'm just saying, I was able to have that conversation because because of how I named the business that he was delivering it to. He knew, he's like, Moorish, because the company is called Moorish Religious and Cultural Institute, Inc. All right. I'm just saying that because y'all might, I guess, it does matter. So that's my side. That's 7 minutes in. Thank you all for your indulgence. I'm going to run through this because I wanted to make sure I get to this installment of Inherited Lies where we cover the lie of the African diaspora, at least in relation to us. This is not to say that there are not Africans from the nations of Africa. I do know the difference between the continent and the nations. I get that. I'm just going to say nation for the sake of brevity, right? So I know that the nations of Africa are over here because they're all over the place, right? Especially the Nigerians. I swear, they're like the what are they? Oh boy, I guess every continent has it. So the subcontinent, Hindus everywhere. Asia itself, Chinese everywhere. And for Africa, it's Nigerians everywhere. So I'm just saying they're here. And that's why I say it's a lie. They're the diaspora, quoting my mama's mama, whose mama's mama. So my grandmother's grandmother, who said, I came straight off a reservation. That's what my grandmother told her granddaughter, who was my grandmother. Okay. But my mother's mother, my grandmother, quote too many times to count, we ain't no Africans. We ain't no Africans. Because I came up right around when Roots came out. If you remember the show, the miniseries Roots, where they were showing Kunta Kinte. First of all, that turned out to be a fake story if you don't know. But fine. I'm not saying that didn't happen at all. I'm saying it didn't. For the records show that there were only 20 slaves that came from Africa. The rest were, shipped from up north to down south to up north. So that was not transatlantic. That was coastal. Get it right, right? So anyway, I want to make sure I get into that because there's a whole lot of stuff going on with this diaspora where people are trying to not cleave, so to speak, but to usurp. Cleaving is, we recognize that this is yours. This is your possession because I have my own portion over here. I get that part. And so knowing that I'm going to respect you the way I would expect you to respect me in my homeland, what you trying to do. No, what these Ghanaians are trying to do, I wonder if I should just cover it now. I'm just going to cover it now. This is inherited lies, right? Since I'm late anyway, this is probably where I would have been. Where I'm covering the African diaspora part as it relates to the indigenous Americans, aka also known as the Moors, the indigenous Moors of America, where we ain't no Africans. If anything, we're Asians. We are the Asiatics because it was all once called Asia, not Africa. I know what they say, we all come from Africans. I don't believe that because the oldest bones have been found over here, not over there. So until they can top that, whatever. The oldest pyramids are over here, not over there. The most pyramids are over here, not over there. If you were first, why are you biting off of me? Why is it that you're coming to my land, but you begging us to come over to your land? Why? Check out what the Ghanaians are doing. I hope I can say this in a straight line. Happy holy day to all. Please, Allah, guide my words. Do not let me open mouth, insert foot. So I'm gonna try to start from the beginning. As far as this beginning, Ghana started. If you may know about how Ghana has been doing that right to return thing, right? Where they're trying to exploit. I mean, they've invited so-called Black people, the ones who don't know who they are and are desperate to be something. They've said, yeah, we got this whole vacation pit thing that we call the what is that? The gateway to slavery, whatever that thing is. It wasn't what they're telling you is. Just like all the other lies they told. That's not what they're telling you is. It is. We're trying to get our people back that we haven't claimed before y'all were worth how many $4 trillion a year. Now we want y'all to come home. And then once you get here, we're going to charge you foreigner prices. Meanwhile, while that's going on and currently reversing because of that foreigner pricing thing, while the Ghanaians have been inviting our sleepy Moors over there to engage in covetousness, because you're coveting, you want to go into somebody else's home and they're helping you covet something that's not yours. So while they got you going over there, it's come up recently where Trump has made arrangements with Ghana, Kenya, and some other countries, but we're talking about Ghana because of what they've done. Ghana has made a deal with the United States where it's like Nigerians, and I think it's like two other nations who will not take their people back. They have to go to Ghana and then be processed into their other nations. And I'm just like, so what are you getting out of this, Ghana? That came up next. What are you getting out of this, Ghana, except that the United States is giving you maybe some change or something? What else are you? But you already got the Black folks over there who are bringing all this economics and stuff, because my sister almost fell for it. She almost fell for it. I'm so glad. I'm not glad what happened to her, but I'm glad it happened because it kept her from going over there. And then she found out she dodged a bullet type of thing. Anyway, yeah, it's crazy. Here I am, a Moor, and you're trying to go home to Ghana. And we're identical twins. Anyway, so like I said, they're getting these people right to return. And now they've made a deal with Trump to get these other African nationals. They're like a hub, and then they send them off to wherever they're supposed to go afterwards. What are they getting in exchange? The Trump administration has just expanded the visa provisions for Ghanaians, where it used to be like, we hate y'all guts because our Constitution, Dred Scott said the whole thing about Africans and how y'all not supposed to be over here if you calling yourself an African, which is why they don't call themselves Africans. They call themselves Nigerian on paperwork. They call themselves African to you, right? Because no one is a continent, they're a nation. So anyway, so we're expanding the visa provision so your people can not only stay here longer, but it'll be easier for them to go back and forth to the United States, right? Okay, that sounds like a swap. You take these dumb niggas, that's what they are. I don't know what else to call them, right? Because they're not going over there because dumb as in you don't know, you're not there, and then they calling you a nigga. Everybody here, the ones who like stepping your stuff to leave, calling you a nigga. When you get over there, you're a nigga too, because that's why they're giving you foreign prices, not native prices, not indigenous, no. And anyway, so it's a swap. So we gonna help you drain. It's like Liberia. We're gonna help you get rid of your most industrious Moors, the ones who can afford to pack up and go over there and start something new. We're going to drain them and replace them with our people who will drain more resources over there. Right? I'm just like, wow, that's pretty terrible. It continues. So what else they got going on? They are trying to table a resolution. The Ghanaians, they are tabling a resolution in the United Nations to declare the transatlantic slave trade the worst atrocity in human history. Never happened. Okay, you want to declare atrocity for 20 individuals that you can prove, right? They got whole ships from the 1600s where they were coming back and forth from England, bringing these crackers over here. But you don't have a single slave ship. As much as you celebrate slavery, you don't have a single slave ship. But we do have records of these orphan trains. Okay? We do have the stories of those children who do remember. So thank you, Allah, for our retention of oral history. Okay? The people who discredit oral history are the same ones who are trying to keep your stuff. Don't listen to them. Only listen to the people who are of you, who might know whether or not that's true. And be careful with that, because they might be working with those ones. They might be Stevens. All right. So, yeah. Anyway, so Ghana has tabled a motion in the UN where they're saying, declare this the worst atrocity that never happened. And because this happened, you took our people, you prospered, and you were able to build your nation off of my people's labor, not my labor, but the people I sold to you. You owe me reparations because of that talent we lost. I know I got paid when when their ancestors got on the ship that never happened, that was never there, that never happened. So let's just assume that actually was the case. So Ghana made it where their people from the diaspora, I'm being very vague so nobody can say, well, actually, okay, I'm not using specifics for a reason because it didn't happen anyway, so who cares? So Ghana is admitting to human trafficking and says, yeah, we sold these folks, but you owe us reparations for these folks we sold you because they went through slavery. This is why I say everybody got to leave. This is what we have to deal with, all right? You're trying to get our people over there so you can replace them with your people, and then using my people's struggles, whether or not, okay, let's say we did come from you. You didn't go through that. You were the one who sold us, and now you want to be the planters of America. Didn't they get reparations because we got away? I'm just like, wow, all of y'all need to go forever. Never return. I want this. Supposedly there used to be sea monsters all around this place. That's why it took so long to get over here. Oh my goodness, I hope this turns into Avatar. Once the planet had enough, all the animals start going in on the foreign infections, the invading infections. All right. Okay. So at least I got that out the way. All right. So I got that out the way. I'm glad I got that out the way. Thank you, Morris, for being here. All right. You want some news? I got some news from last week that I wasn't able to get to because I was snapping on the fiat aristocrats. So yeah, thank you again for being here. Actually, I'm gonna go through a couple announcements real quick, but thank you. I already got through my main point. So if you want to stay here, I got some news that you might like to be interested in, but that was my main point. So new book, 508 Incorporated book is coming out because there is a 508 Incorporation toolkit. The same toolkit that I used to set up the business that this young man asked me, Moorish. Yeah, it's the 508, right? So that there's a toolkit and there is a book to go with the toolkit. Both of them are reasonably priced for the not too much longer because I'm riding with some astrology and it's commanding that I do some stuff or I'm a crash and burn. So nothing personal, just business. Don't forget, we always have goods. Wearing my fancy enamel pen. I think it's somewhere in the TikTok shop, all that good stuff. What's up? Okay, I'm gonna go through these. If it's any comments. Okay, ooh, wow. Okay, I'm gonna go through these comments real quick. Wow, it's a lot of them. What's going on? Okay, Islam, y'all. Dang. Thank you for joining, all of y'all. All right, well, I'll take some questions real quick if y'all want to put them in there, and then I'll come back after I let y'all go, if I go through these little news articles real quick. I'll do one look real quick recap. Remember that dude, that brother? I'm gonna still call him a brother, even though, even the brothers who like doing time, those are still my brothers. They just took a wrong path or whatever. Ian Roberts, the superintendent of Des Moines, Iowa schools. His saga continues. So turns out every single thing about this dude, this guy is apparently fake. I'm tr- I'm not faulting him. I'm trying to figure out how he did this, right? Because this Moore has proven he can get to the position where he is in charge of the education of 30,000 children, and for that effort is getting paid $300,000 per year, and he's undocumented. Do you understand how that's how Moors are supposed to be able to move in this country? I don't need to prove to who I am. Look, that kind of thing. You do not have a question when you see a so-called black person. Everyone on planet Earth, especially in these invaded lands, has made sure when you see one of us, you know one of us so that you can oppress us. Now the last is first. Keep that same energy, if that makes sense. Don't act dumb now. Don't play stupid now. I'm just saying, I want to know how this man did this. So he was going back and forth to Ghana, apparently, because he actually represented Ghana in the 2002 Olympics. And then he came back, worked on some degrees. How did you even get in college? How are you paying for this and you weren't supposed to be working? How'd you do this? So he was supposed to be getting some degrees, but he didn't finish them. But he was still putting it on his paperwork like he did. That part is foul, right? Because people are expecting you to know how to do this stuff. And so he works his whole way up to the Des Moines, Iowa thing. And last year, they finally catch up with him. And it's like, it's time for you to go home because I guess you were so busy committing fraud, you didn't bother to apply for actual citizenship. And you could have actually been legit in all the stuff you were doing. But maybe he couldn't do that because if they dug it, it's like, well, let me go ahead and apply for my citizenship so you could dig into my numerous records in my public service and see that I'm in on some messed up stuff. One of which, I don't know if y'all remember this, there was a grading scandal in a school district. I want to say it was Philadelphia. It was somewhere on the East Coast. It was a grading scandal where they found out that the higher ups, i.e., the superintendents and all those people, the board, were forcing the teachers to fake grades, give the children better grades than they had in grade school, elementary, and middle school, right? So that it wouldn't mess up. You know how they grade schools and all that stuff, so that it wouldn't mess up their rankings, their scores, because how much a school receives depends on how well the students do, and that determines how much the school district and everything and the teachers are going to get as far as a raise. So if your students are failing, your school is losing money. You're definitely not getting a raise. If you're a silver star school, you get a raise, you get a bonus, and everybody else is getting paid, especially the higher ups. Apparently, he was the one making phone calls, calling teachers to tell them to fudge these grades. But they just now finding this out because he did his damage and got out when he got a promotion and went somewhere else. Because, wow, look at your performance. And we don't have time to and look at this the same year it happened. That's just impressive right now. Just come on in. And apparently that's why they weren't checking his stuff. They were like, oh, look at this man's credentials. That last place wouldn't have hired him if he was illegal. And he just kept riding that wave, apparently. But he was on some dirt while he was doing it, right? He supposedly got like domestic violence stuff. I don't know how true this stuff is because you got to consider the source, right? But I'm just like, I don't know, dude. I got to ask. I'm still, you're more. If you would just enforce and enact that stuff or get your people to just be like, you know what, that's a more, y'all can't move against him like that because he is in a better position to tell you what to do than you are to tell him what to do. But whatever, it is what it is. All right. Is that 30 minutes? Nope, it's 24 minutes. I don't have nothing else more. Unless y'all want to know about what's going on with Palestine lately. How they still trying to break up into there. I wonder how this is going to turn out. Aren't y'all curious? Because was it last week? The UN met or 2 weeks ago or whatever. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Dang, 2 weeks ago already. They met and so many people. I recognize Palestine. Blah, 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 blah. And everybody's like, that's great. So why can't Palestine get Israel off its back if everybody's recognizing it? Because there's a problem. Yeah, we recognize you as a nation, but you're missing a component, right? What was it? There's certain components you need to be considered a nation and to be officially recognized. So these people were basically just like, nudging Israel. Like you might want to finish this up because they're getting closer, but we're going to deny them the one part that could tip this whole thing over the edge. How are you going to recognize a nation that has no land? That's one of the provisions. I'm trying to think. You got to have a language, check. You have to have a name, check, right? Culture. You have it in your head because Israel has destroyed everything else. But a big one is you have to have a land to claim. There are tons of nations that are floating around. What is it? The Kurds, the Romani, or what do they call them? The Gypsies floating around. That's a nation. They have, those are a people, and they are distinct and unique. But nobody can. They don't have a land to call their own. So Albanians, I don't know if they ever got Albania back. I don't know, but yeah, they're like, yeah, we recognize that you are a nation, but what's yours? Okay, so it's kind of funny, and it kind of reminds me of the Moors, right? I think we got like the opposite problem. We have a land that people recognize as belonging to a people, but those people won't recognize themselves. So what to do? What to do? I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep it moving. I'm gonna claim my piece. But we were talking about this last week. I'm the little red hen, right? Just like with all of I love the prophet, how the prophet said, even if my own mama ain't right, she can't get by. So if you sitting on the fence, knowing who we are, but just like I'm gonna wait to see how this go, like that Bangladeshi dude, I'll go back home when all the problems are solved. I'm the little red hen. Did you help me plant this corn? No. Did you help me weed the corn while it was growing? No. Did you carry out water when it didn't rain? No. Did you help me harvest it? No. Did you help me grind it? No. Did you help me bake it? No. Did you even help me take it out the oven? No. So where's your piece? It's where all your effort is. You get out of it what you put into it. That's just me. I'm letting folks know now, if I get any kind of power, I'm going to be a problem for everyone. I won't. I mean, mostly to one group of people, but my own people. It's like, well, I got something for them too. It's only fair. Why should you get more? Why should you be treated the same as the people who were there when it wasn't beneficial? I'm not saying you got to do everything, just do something. All right. And with that, thank you, Morris. Peace and love from NYC. Love the content. Thank you. That's why I do what I do. Appreciate you too. I'm going to go through these comments real quick. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Islam to you, Uriel El Bombay. Big energy. Who got big energy? Yeah, I finally got to sit down after a couple of days. I have been running. My son moved into an apartment. My other son got a birthday. It's like, come on, man. My daughter got a portfolio due. Like, are you serious? All right, let's see. Self-soothing with false notions of power. Who, you talking to yourself or your mama? There you go. Mandy Moore is a whore. How about that? All right, cool. Velour handshakes. Yeah, I know what you shaking hands with. Your cock gone somewhere. I don't know what makes people think I will not check you. Oh, she has to remain in a certain poise and a certain demeanor. No, I don't. You don't. I guess the colonists have forgotten. You all have fallen out of power. What you say is the least credible thing. All it is fodder to turn back and use against you because you are the scum of the earth. You all have gone all around the world trying to replace everybody because you're so lame and whack. You couldn't just be satisfied where you were. But my theory is y'all couldn't sit still because you have no ass. Would you like to say something else? Velour, whatever. Velour handshake. You got something else to say? Yeah, that's what I thought. Anyway, y'all be cool. Yes, I will check you. I have South Node in Aries. I am so sick of fighting with people, but you wouldn't believe how good I am at it. All right. And with that, that was cathartic. Thank you. I appreciate that. Y'all be cool. And be here Tuesday where I'll have more for it. And your mama is a fish, bald-headed, fish-smelling whore bitch. How about that? Ha, ha, ha. How old am I? You know everything else. How old am I? How old am I? Where am I at right now? I'm in my living room. What city am I in? With your mom. Go find your mama and give her a bar of soap and some water. You know, you have to add the water to a towel, not your hands. You have to use a scrub rag. Okay. Washing. How do y'all clean your butts? Oh. And then your mother, how does she clean her butt? 40? You think I'm 40? Thank you. I'll be 50 soon, but thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm about to be 50. Thank you, though. Thank you. Say something else, make yourself look stupid. But that's it. Yeah. I hope the Moors enjoy that. Y'all need to start doing this. There was a reason why folks didn't like us around. You should read the book Servants of Allah and see how the our people were clowning them. We wore sear walls and flowing robes. They showing up in tights and high heels. All right? These people, are you serious? Let us now express to them what we see. I'm not black. What color is this, fool? This is black. This is black. I am copper colored, also known as olive tone. Copper colored Native Americans. Look it up. Indigenous, the original people, not pink folks that can't stay in the sun more than 10 minutes before their skin starts boiling. Freak. You ain't supposed, even the sun hates you. Freak. It all went wrong when whatever created you. Yakub, I hope he's burning in hell for creating you all. Pretending. Indian is another word for slave. We're not slaves, we're Moors. M-O-O-R. How we built 900 bathhouses in Spain because of the otherworldly fuck from your people, because they just thought, I can't wash. Water is a curse. Water is a sin. Also, cleanliness is next to godliness. So what does that make, y'all? I'm not dominated by cave dwellers. Just wait. Keep talking. Oh, Middle East? Where's the Middle East? Are you from this? It's not real. Oh, this is fun. This is why people be on YouTube, because I got a couple of minutes. I just hit 30 minutes. Is this why people be on TikTok? I remember somebody said, be careful with these platforms, because recall when you were in school, they had regular class, AP, and honors, and gifted. I was a gifted. And then you had the remedials in the basement. Remember, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram does not make those distinctions. Okay. These people are, especially when it comes to Moors, you got to remember why it was punishable by death to keep us from reading, because they didn't want us to find out about them. My father told me that too. They don't want us around them because they don't want us to see them raping their daughters, and how they're freshly washed from 3 days ago. Yeah. Yup. But yeah, let me see. So yeah, but Laura handshake. Make sure y'all go follow him. All right. Because he needs some friends. He needs a hug. There we go. All right, he's blocked. All right, cool. Yeah, I hope he liked that. He was still talking too. So we are asking questions. Moors can ask questions. If you're not a Moor, hop off. I may be talking about you. I am not talking to you. I should get that as a tattoo. I am the Moorish bigot, not a racist yet. That's coming soon. But at the moment, I'm a bigot. I don't care what y'all have to say. You all are done talking. And if you're not, so if you are here and you know you came from somewhere else, I know I'm from here. I can prove it. And I can prove you're not from here. Why should I consider anything you have to say about me? You're a runner. You're a coward. You're a thief. You're an opportunist. What makes you think I have any consideration for what you have to say? Give me a break. You are, quote the Bible, as spittle. Y'all have a great rest of your evening. And now I'm definitely showing up for Holy Night. Because that was a tear. I must have needed to get that out. Because this week has been bad. So I think that cave beast or whatever that was, Pretendian. Wow. I don't claim Indian. Are you kidding me? Why would I want crumbs over a bakery? Are you serious? Federal recognition. And you had to get recognition from me. Peace to love. Y'all. I'm out. Thank you all for being here. Peace.